He is, Simon.
Absolutely. I mean, Hung Luk absolutely had them all hung out to dry earlier on, but Simon Jones has just come from nowhere and he's changed gears completely.
Go on, madam, feel free to touch it.
It won't go off in your hand.
We promise. Would madam be up for 3? Would she?
Oh, madam certainly knows a good package when she sees one, doesn't she?
Latest Sony Ericsson, 6 months half-price line rental, free Bluetooth headset.
Oh, and all exclusive to us.
Talk and browse the web at the same time.
Oh, multitasking, madam. I bet you're no stranger to that, are you? Oh, fondle the badge. The link.
Phones to suit every pocket.
Oh.
He wasn't as evil as people described him. Falling in love with someone who is in prison because they have taken the life of another human being, there's a huge taboo there.
I knew that he was not a psychopath.
4 weddings and an execution, Thursday at 10 on 4.
Welcome back. We are 3-way in this fascinating 4th heat of Late Night Poker Ace.
Pass.
These guys should just get a room. They're on each other's lap here.
Let's change the table for a boxing ring.
Boy, 8 high, and he's sticking the chips in. That is strong.
Well, remember what I said, Jesse. I mean, Hung is not going to put up with this. Eventually, he's going to make a stand. Is it going to be this hand or not? Looking down at his chips, he's looking around. I don't want to come third. That's what he's thinking.
And this is beyond the point where cards even matter. It's just sheer force of will here.
This is phenomenal play from Simon Jones. I mean, he's just hidden away amongst those 6 players earlier on. Made a couple of moves, didn't he? And from now, from lowest chips, he is our chip leader, 4,200.
Still a lot of play left in this tournament, and the ace on the button
600
seems to be the standard move. This could be a re-raisers game.
Pass.
It's only 300 more for Hung to call and see a flop.
I'll call.
Call.
And he wants to see a flop.
Thank you.
And Jack 4, sometimes called the done hand, but here, suited in diamonds and not that far behind.
It's going to be a bit of checking here.
I'll check.
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 Gordon setting the trap. And if Hung falls into this, it's all over.
Check.
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 Oh, I love this play by Gordon. He's absolutely dying for Hung to try and nick it on the end.
He didn't just check once, he checked twice.
Me again?
So tempting to try and steal it.
1350 in the middle.
Check.
Small bet here from Gordon.
1,000.
Well, a little bit high there. 600 would have been enough, but he doesn't know it, but he's going to win this uncontested.
I think he thought about it. You know, Simon, not much betting in that hand, but in some ways it was brilliant play from both players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hung resisted the desire to try and steal it on the end, but Gordon played fantastically well. He's checked it down.
It's amazingly close between these three. Just 400 separating all three of them. Simon has the edge from Hung in second and Gordon third, but it's anyone's game. The blinds will soon go up. They're playing 150, 300 more, but the tumble dryer will soon be put on fast freeze.
First to act. Hung on the button.
3 to call. More if he likes it, and he does.
800.
It's a very nice hand.
Raise to 800.
Tempting.
Well, here's an interesting situation.
Leave this. 230.
Raise to 2,000.
Oh, wow. Gordon thinks that because he raised only 500 that he's weak this time.
The question is, how committed is Gordon? And how committed is Hung? Hung's going all in. He likes it. Will Gordon call? He'll be in a terrible spot here with the sixes.
Much more?
Simon must be loving this. He knows that if one of these guys takes the other on, he's virtually guaranteed to be in the top two with a shot at winning through to the final. He was willing Gordon to call. And he has made the call.
Well, you're in the final two anyway.
Well, we've seen a situation like this earlier. Do you remember when Alison went out and she had the 10s and Hung had the queens? This time, Hung has the overpair. He has the jacks, Gordon has the sixes.
800. So you can take 200 back.
Wow, I still live.
Which means Gordon is all in. And
I
another
can take
100.
200 back.
Thank you. Okay, so Gordon is all in. His hand is a pair of sixes. Hung's hand is a pair of jacks. Let's see the flop. And the flop comes 9-5 king. So the jacks in front. Gordon needs to improve. Turn card is an 8.
Now he's got an extra 4 outs.
Or a 7. And the last card is the 3. No help for Gordon. Our next player up.
Good game. Good game.
Well, what a gentleman there, Jesse.
He sure is all class. The civil servant from County Armagh, who played one of the games of his life for sure, but we're head up.
Oh, it was a fabulous experience, sitting there and having Marina and Thomas on the floor and stuff like that. And I think I done myself justice. I thought I played quite well. I just made a bad decision in the last hand. So I think Hung will probably go on to win. He was catching cards, and he's a very aggressive player, and he's very hard to read. I honestly didn't put him on a pocket pair there at the last, so he played well.
Head to head, only 2 left. It's the scientist versus the analyst and Simon Trumper. It all seems like it's been a prelude to this. These two have been building up to this moment all game long.
Oh, absolutely, Jesse. I mean, Hung, who was our early chip leader and dominated the table, at one point in the middle, he looked like, you know, he was going to lose his momentum.
Check.
But he found some hands at the right time, and he is now big chip leader, heads up. He's got 7,700.
It's been a free flop. There was a limp in on the button, and Hung Luke has now flopped 3 jacks.
Check.
If Simon gets fruity, he's going to find a bag full.
2,000. Pass.
All over in head-up play, of course. The small blind on the button acts first. Hung Luke taking this first one. And Simon, it's almost like in the early part of this tournament, Hung had the measure. But for the last few rounds, Simon has fought back and taken quite a few chips away from Hung.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's face it, Simon came at one point, he was down to 800 in chips. He made a great play all in, survived, doubled up. Then he stole the blinds relentlessly. And now heads up, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that he's going to be prepared to be aggressive and go for that early double up, try and take Hung Luke on at his own game.
It's 200 to call for Hung Luke on the button.
600.
And this late night poker ace tournament.
800. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're looking for the top British amateur, but neither of these two is playing like an amateur tonight.
Thank you.
Well, here's an interesting situation here. Unfortunately for Simon, he made a mistake. He obviously intended to raise double, but he only said 600. Now they've made him make it up to 800. There's no way that Simon is going to realise that Hung Luke is sitting there with such a huge hand.
Ace-king was huge before the flop, but now look, Simon looking quite strong. Up and down straight draw.
That's the rule again, isn't it? Sorry.
Like and that's 1, the second time he's made a string bet. He tried to put in 2,000, has bet a grand.
And Simon with the straight draw might decide to move here.
I'm all in.
Yes,
he is. And how can Hung Luke call?
So Simon is all in. The board is 9-8.
He is calling.
Simon shows queen.
He is calling.
7. His queen
and he's
high,
got the lead.
And straight. He needs a 5 or a 10. And Hung has ace.
Wow,
king
this
of
is unbelievable, Jesse.
Let's see the turn. The deuce of hearts.
A 5, a 10, a 7, a queen. That's not one of them. One card to come. Simon's all in. This has been a crazy hand so far. 4. One away, it's over.
We have a winner.
Hung Luke has won this tournament on ace high.
Well done.
Simon Jones from Watford. He'll be back for the semi-final, but Hung Luke dominated.
The cameras and everything don't really matter, because all you're focusing on, well, for me anyway, I was just focusing on the other players and the cards. So it was just like sitting in a game.
I felt really good. I felt comfortable. I really enjoyed it. I think I made a couple of good folds. Also managed to steal a few pots, because I was relatively short stacked at the beginning. I managed to build my stack up with a few bluffs. Caught a couple of hands, didn't get as much action as I hoped, but generally I'm very happy.
The heads went very quickly. Just 2 hands, I believe. I can't remember too much of it. All I remember seeing in the second hand was an ace, king, suited. I was like, that's it, I've got to go all in on this. I don't care what he's got, I'm doing it off either the first flop or before the flop.
I had open-ended straight draws, had 8 outs, and I also had the queen or the 7 to hit. So I actually had 14 outs. Unfortunately didn't hit, and that's that.
I probably will not do any preparations for the final at all. I'll go out and drink and then come back and test my luck again. Yeah.
In the semi-finals, I think the only way to approach is to be ultra aggressive. There's nothing for finishing second in the semi-finals. You have to win. So I'm going to play aggressive, hopefully get the cards, and hopefully can make it through to the final.
So Hung Luke joins the other 3 heat winners on the grand final table. Simon Jones will take his chances in the semi-final. I'm Jesse May, and for Simon Trumper and myself, until next time, cash me in.
Do you want to know when to hold 'em and when to fold 'em? Go to channel4.com/poker for expert advice on how to play. Next tonight, sex, drugs and power games in the highly charged underworld of Kingpin.
How do you get this number? 0800-441234. High tension all September on Film 4.
When my dad had cancer, this woman helped him through his chemotherapy.
Without this woman, my brother would have died from serious stomach injuries.
Without that man, my sister would have died during heart surgery.
Do something amazing. Give blood.
Go on, madam, feel free to touch it.
It won't go off in your hand.
We promise. Would madam be up for 3? Would she?
Oh, madam certainly knows a good package when she sees one, doesn't she?
Latest Sony Ericsson 6 months half-price line rental, free Bluetooth headset.
Oh, and all exclusive to us.
Talk and browse the web at the same time.
Oh, multitasking, madam. I bet you're no stranger to that, are you? Oh, fondle the badge.
The Link. Phones to suit every pocket. Oh.
Call us now. Make the connection. 0800 441 234. High tension all September on Film 4.
Every artist of every generation has attempted one. Are they self-obsessed or just the easy option? Into self-scrutiny, or is it just a matter of appearance? A narcissistic fantasy, or how one wants to be viewed by the world? Why do artists paint self-portraits? Matthew Collins explores the cult of the self-portrait, from the Renaissance to present day, in the Me Generations, a 3-part series, Saturday at 7:15 on 4.
Marlene.
Just a second.
I just wanted to tell you, I probably won't be home for dinner.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you out of your mind?
Just needed some help getting started today.
How long have you been doing this?
It's not a problem, Mickey. I do a little every once in a while. It's like you taking sleeping pills at night to go to sleep.
Who gave this to you?
Does it matter?